Next up, please welcome the founder and editor-in-chief of Black Girl Fly magazine and the co-founder of Party Noir. Please welcome Nick Adler.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here with you all to share a little bit of my personal journey that helps me to explain what I think the future of online communities are. So for me, the future of everything begins with Black women, and so I'll ground my words today in a quote of Audre Lorde. If I didn't define myself for myself, I would be crunched into other people's fantasies of me and eaten alive. Audre, a poet and activist, a Wonder Woman, an all-around badass, and I have lots of things in common. She identifies as a queer Black woman, so do I. We are born to Caribbean parents, raised in New York City, and so am I. We both share an intense curiosity for telling stories about the intersectional worlds that we see. We're both also Aquarians, which I think makes us the coolest people on the planet. I didn't come to her work until college, connecting with online forums and platforms that helped me to understand the text of Black feminists. And so I'll have to go backward to tell you about how I see the future. I was raised in New York City by a single mother in the 90s. Stories of Black mothers' singlehood were not prevalent in any of the things that I was looking at when I was a young kid. The images were often non-existent, distorted, and looked nothing like the community that I knew. My Black single mother was not just my mother. She raised me in a tribal community consisting of my grandmother, family members, aunts, and uncles who worked together in a tribe to help build and give me the resources that I needed to succeed. When I looked in media and looked online, I didn't see experiences that looked similar to mine. And so I took to internet platforms to think about the ways that I was creating my own identity, coming of age in New York City, trying to find ways to connect with individuals who shared experiences like mine. Might be immigrants, single Black mothers, queer Black young girls looking to create a way in space in this world. I might date myself a little bit here, but I'm gonna talk about my own personal journey in digital storytelling online. So it starts with MySpace. On MySpace, I tried to develop my coding skills. I'm telling stories about who I am through these word art and connecting with other young Black kids from in my neighborhood, but also throughout this world. Next, I jumped to Tumblr. On Tumblr, I learned the importance of cultural and visual culture. I understand that we can use short form and long form types of content in order to tell stories about who we are and where we're coming from. In this space, I connected with people across the globe to think about how to create space to write myself into existence. It wasn't until college that I came to creating this platform called Black Girl Fly magazine. This platform for me is a way that I amplify the voices of Black millennial women across this world. I try to connect experiences that are intersectional and amplify the voices of women that look like me. It is in the legacy of Audre Lorde and my grandmother, my mother, and the tribe that raised me that I try to tell stories of the experiences of people who look like me. I try to center a conversation around transformative relationships, the contributions and brilliance of Black women, my starting point for the future. On this, I want to leave you with 3 facts. The future of the internet and free speech is intersectional. We can't have that without understanding the intersections of identities. Power arises when we talk about our nuances and the things that make us unique. We find special places across the internet that will help us find refuge and for people who are marginalized and come from marginalized communities. For Black women, for queer folks, humanity and safety, and the free speech movement is important for us moving forward. The future of the internet, number 2, the future of the internet will power community action and healing. I think that we all understand that Black people don't always find a safe space on the internet. Day to day, we are exposed to Black death, images of Black trauma, and so for me, I'm looking to the internet to transform over the next decade, to provide tools for us to transform relationships, to heal, and to call each other in, rather than to use a toxic culture of calling each other out. I'm hoping that over the next 10 years, the internet will transform as a platform, helping us to create space for healing, community, accountability, and for ways just for us to move forward. Lastly, I would like to say that the future of the internet is already here. When I look around to the communities that I'm connected with, whether it be in my current home, Chicago, or back in New York, I know too many creative Black individuals who are creating the future of the internet right now. So right now, I want you to get your pens ready. I'm gonna list off to you some platforms that you need to be familiar with. So starting with the safe spaces of Party Noir and Black Girl Fly magazine, I'm gonna share with you the work of the Slap Collective. They are located in New York, creating space for creative expression. Black Utopia, housed in Chicago, they are creating a space for exploring ideal situations for Black people. Black creatives, they are doing actual work for the culture now. Brooklyn Boyhood, they're doing work to undo toxic masculinity on the internet and abroad. Women of Color in Solidarity, Queer Black Creatives, Creative Smart Girls, Shine Text, Therapy for Black Girls. These are all platforms that I believe are doing the work of doing action for healing, helping us to transform and tell transformative stories, helping to build community online and offline. And so I think in the legacy of my grandmother and Audre Lorde, we have everything that we need right now to push the future forward. And so, yeah, I want to leave you with that. Thank you so much.